How's everyone doing out there today? I'm Dissonance, and thanks for tuning into my channel. I think we've all been there before, maybe in the early days of your account, where you have that one clan member gets like 200, 250, 300,000 points a CVC, every CVC. You're like, man, that guy must be spending a fortune. But as my account matured, I came to realize that is very repeatable, and it's not going to cost you any money. So this video is all about how can I put up that many points in CVC without spending a dime. So to that end, I did some light calculation based on some average numbers just to show you how repeatable that really is. So let's start off by taking a look at the objectives here, right? Of course, the first thing you think of is, oh, pulling shards. Pulling shards must be worth a lot of points, and, well, you'd be right. Getting champions, you know, depending on what you get, of course, shards is always a gamble. But depending on what you get, you could get a lot of points. I'm going to completely discount this entirely from my calculations. I very rarely pull shards in CVC unless I'm sitting at Mercy and there's a really juicy progressive event. I've tried to pull for some voids like that and not been successful, but most of the time you're not going to want to pull shards in CVC, especially if you are looking for repeatable points. So for that, we move on to the next section here, all the way down in the bottom of champions, the upgrade affinity bonuses at the Great Hall. So for my calculations, you get 39 free coins every day. I based it off of 35 wins at 4 medals apiece, which you'll get in gold 3 and gold 4, I believe, for a total of 140 medals per day. If you do that every day, granted, this does require some effort, right? Some work, a lot of getting the most efficiency out of your resources as a free-to-play player will require a little bit of extra effort. But we're talking about 14 days gives you about 1,960 medals, which is going to put us in the I can buy a bonus level 9 and a bonus level 10. Of course, you may not have those options every time, but this will give us a good idea of how many points you can get. So right here, we're already at 8,500 points. Now, in order to get those medals, you also got to get wins. So if we go down a bit further, you can see that you actually get points for the medals that you get from classic arena battles. So assuming we're getting all gold medals, which this is about, we're talking about 35 wins a day again for the, you know, three days worth of coins that you can get. We're talking about, actually, I forgot to add in extra days. We're talking about 5,600 points here, right? You get your 35 wins on Tuesday, and then you get 35 more wins on Wednesday. So there we have another 5,600 points. I made a mistake in the calculations. That's okay. We'll get the general idea. Now, next up is tag team wins. Same section here. Basing this on being in Silver 1, you can actually hold over your coins if you're in the United States. The time zones line up to where the reset happens, like in the late afternoon or the evening. Save your coins. Save your coins on Monday evening until CVC opens on Tuesday. Then you basically get 3 days worth of using your resources. So we're talking about 60 tokens, 20 a day for 3 days worth, because we're holding over. say you get maybe 2.5 wins out of 3 for, you know, for each match. Sometimes you'll win all 3, sometimes maybe you won't. And then we're basing this off the average of silver 1, like my account, of course. It's like silver 4, maybe gold 1, getting more gold bars per fight. Some of you may be a little bit less than that. So, you know, on average, we're getting about 19,000 points here. And that will scale as your account gets higher. So there is the next point total. Now let's go down even a little further here. The next up is skill tomes. Now there's a lot of ways to get skill tomes in the game, but for the purposes of this, I ran an average of the expected drop rate of just Demon Lord if you're hitting Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare. If you are earlier in the game, there are many one-time sources of legendary books that you can try to achieve to supplement this. And if you are late game and you're doing, you know, double chest clan boss every day, plus you're doing full Doom Tower, plus maybe you can get some out of the tag team store once a month, we could be adding to that totals, you know, substantially, right? These are just basic numbers, just basic calculations. I calculate on this, we ran the probabilities through Google here, and it's about 4.7, the expected rate being 10.5% per what is it, Transcendent chest, I think, from Ultra Nightmare, and about 6.3% from the top Nightmare chest. We're doing 2 chests, and we're obviously trying to do that every day between CVCs. So that's where that number came from. We're talking about, you know, about 15,000 points per CVC, plus this doesn't include any of your epic books at all. Epic books generally easier to come by from events, maybe tournaments or other places in the game. So just on a very basic calculation, we're talking about 15,000 points plus. Like I know in my CVC that's going on right now, I'm about to dump all of the mythical tomes I've been saving for an entire year into my Lady Mikage that I just pulled. So, and speaking of that, champions that you can pull, we just got the Xenomorph reward. You could always try to hold that for CVC if you didn't want to use it for the champion chase. Things like that do tend to line up a lot. There are also ways to force them to line up. I won't go into that in too much detail here, but it's very easy on the PC. It's a little more complicated on the phones. But you can bypass your login calendar, not click through it, not click X off of it. If you bypass it by accessing a different part of the game, like the arena, then you can not claim it and save it for your CVC. That's worth a lot of points. Now, the next one we have is actually earning the chests from Demon Lord here. Just the chests that I mentioned, Ultra Nightmare 2 chests, Nightmare 2 chests, and then 2 days worth, because we can't necessarily hold them over if we want to keep our keys rolling. That's another 5,600 points for doing something that you're going to be doing anyways, right? So afterwards, we have our Iron Twins keys. I did calculate this based off of your level 15 or stage 15 clear. Where are we? Iron Twins, 400 per stage 15 clear. We get 6 of those a day. We're not spending gems here to do that. And then we can also hold over the Iron Twins keys from Monday night into Tuesday. So we get 3 days worth, and that's 7,200 points. Don't forget, all of the energy that you spend anywhere is going to be worth something. So just spend your energy, right? If we're playing with a points efficiency or a free-to-play efficiency mindset. We want to keep that energy ticking at all times. So anywhere you go, Phantom Shogun, Sand Devil, any of your base dungeons. Of course, there are these 2x points. I have not and will not include that in any of my calculations, but if there's a reason for you to do those, well, you just get extra points, right? But I don't think that's necessary to chase, but it's definitely helpful. It's definitely helpful. I tend to run Minotaur a lot during my CVCs. It's not worth an exceptional amount of points, but it seems to line up well for, doing it when there's not much else going on. But if you really want to churn out the points, a lot of people prefer Spider or Sand Devil if you have a really fast farm team, which I do not. So I'm not too worried about that one. All right, moving on. After Iron Twins, we have our Faction War keys. Everybody gets them. They're free, so we might as well use them. Once again, we can hold them over for the next morning. That's 3 days worth. I have only calculated it for stage 21 plus one run of stage 9, which is your typical, normal Faction Wars keys. If you go hard, there's a lot more points, but that's not for everybody. So that's okay. We're not counting that. Stage 21, 4 clears, and then stage 9, 1 clear 3 times. That's going to be 12,300, and there's going to be 2 factions. So we're going to have actually 24,600 points. So don't forget to do those Faction War keys. Those Faction War keys will also get you forge materials, and forging is not something that I could even hazard a guess at how many points you can get off of that. But if you are consistent with your arena and you're consistent with your Faction Wars, you are going to have plenty of materials to be forging every CVC. I would hold most of your forging for CVC. It's worth a lot of points. So after that, we have this miscellaneous objectives, which literally just means spending your gems. I don't recommend just haphazardly spending your gems, but sometimes what I like to do is just buy a bunch of energy potions. They hold for 99 days. I know that I'm going to use them. I don't use my gems for anything else, so that's an option. You can just pre-buy them and then use them in the next fusion if you want to, but you don't have to. All that being said, that is the basic overview, the basic breakdown of just free and easy points that you can get every single CVC. So now for the final calculation, I actually have to rerun the calculation because of the things that I forgot. Okay, our new and grand total is 85,250 points that you can basically earn for free just by playing the game every single CVC. Now, spending your energy on anything in between there is going to be worth points. Forging anything with the Magisteel and the Faction Wars crafting materials that you've earned is going to be worth more points. So realistically, I just wanted to show that it's actually fairly easy to hit 100,000 points every CVC just by managing your resources and playing the game. Nothing extra needed, no money necessary. And I kind of curious about this myself. I just wanted to see kind of how it would add up. I tend to use this as a time to blow gems and grind Minotaur and do other things like that. So I routinely find myself putting up 250,000 points without even really trying. Don't forget we didn't include epic skill tomes. There's going to be a lot more of those, and they're actually worth a relatively good amount of points here. Compared to the legendary books, 1,000 for every epic skill tome that you use, and they're quite a bit more common than legendary tomes most of the time. So just be aware of all the different ways that you can earn points in CVC, and you can find yourself helping your team win a lot more CVCs in the future. So if you enjoyed the video, please leave me a like or a comment. Let me know if there's anything that I forgot or any tips that you have for the rest of the community. And thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.